Well, this week's Bushel Up, I mentioned a couple weeks ago, we wanted to take the next 6-7 weeks just before planting season to go over a few topics. Reality is we're about 90 days away. That seems like it's coming pretty fast. We're probably 60 days away from being in the field. So now's a good time to kind of double check, kind of check that list off. So we're going to start with fertilizer. Couple important things about fertilizer this year. Obviously, the talk of the town for the last couple of years has been the high price of fertilizer. We do want to make sure that when you're going through your recs, when you're sitting down, going through things with your agronomist, whether it be us or somebody else, that we're covering those crop needs. Obviously, there's years where we kind of focus on building soils. When fertilizer prices are high, we don't need to do that, but we do need to make sure we get the appropriate yield goals, understand what that takes nutrition-wise to raise those yield goals so we don't leave ourselves short. Obviously, with the price of commodities, we don't want to miss an opportunity either. So review those recs. Good news is there's been some softness in fertilizer. So if you haven't made any decisions, or even if you have, you might want to review those. Potash is probably the biggest lead product that's dropped. So if you're needing some K, you might review those. We've also seen some retreat in phosphorus and a little bit of retreat in nitrogen. Caution for those of you that like to sit out and wait, thinking prices are going to continue to go lower. Understand that as we narrow that window to planting season, typically that in-season pricing starts to show up and you'll see some increases. So, sometime in the next 30 days, it'd be a good idea to make sure you sit down and get those fertilizer needs covered. Finally, as we talk about soil sampling, hopefully you've gotten that done. For us here at Aurora Co-op, we had a record year on grid samples, pulled a tremendous amount of nitrate samples, making sure we get the right nitrogen credits applied. But there's still time. Typically in the spring, we'll do 30 to 50,000 acres of grid sampling, pick up some of those nitrate samples, especially if you change some cropping plans around. So be sure to get with us, get those on the books as well. We look forward to making sure we got the right fertility rec set up. When we look at nitrogen, a lot of talk about nitrates and some of the issues popping up. They've been around for a while, honestly. So make sure you're getting those right credits. Like I said, account for your organic matter, what's in the soil, make sure we're getting the previous crops. And finally, consider those split applications. Don't put all that nitrogen up front. All those things help us be more efficient and more responsible with our nitrogen application. So quick review of nitrogen. Look forward to continuing this next week as we move on to seed.